All right, hello, everyone. Welcome to the December 17th, 2024 Police Commission meeting. We call this meeting to order, and with that, we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll lead that off. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, yeah. Before we go to our regular agenda, I'm going to ask for a moment of silence for J. Walter Beek, a sergeant from Biddeford Police Department and more significantly a member of our community who died tragically. And so with that, I'll ask for the moment of silence. Thank you. With that, the Police Commission sends our deepest condolences to the Walter Beek family. The first thing we're going to do is a acceptance of the minutes. So we'll accept those minutes first. I'll take a motion to accept the minutes.
Make a motion to accept the minutes from 11/19. Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And with that, I'll take a motion to suspend the rest of the items in the agenda for the swearing-in ceremony.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
If Chloe and Jason step up, please. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I'm going to swear in our two newest police officers. First up will be Chloe Robidas. Did I say it right? Robidas. Sorry. Chloe came to us. She's a native of New Hampshire. She's a graduate of the 178th New Hampshire Police Academy. She served with the Durham Police Department for 6 years, bringing dedication and experience to her role. Chloe holds a bachelor degree from Colby Sawyer College. Next is Jason Page. He's a resident of Newmarket, New Hampshire. He's dedicated the past 7 years to the U.S. Air Force, including the last 2 years as a military working dog handler. He holds an associate's degree in criminal justice and is currently pursuing a bachelor's degree in social and criminal justice. Jason is set to begin training at the 199th Full-Time Police Academy, and he starts on January 6th. You guys will just follow me, put your hands up. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your names.
I, Jason Page,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully
that I will
and
faithfully
impartially
impartially
discharge and perform all duties
discharge and perform all duties
incumbent on me
incumbent on me
as a police officer, constable, and night watchman
as a police officer, constable, and night watchman
of said city of Portsmouth,
outside the city of Portsmouth,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
agreeable to the rules and regulations of the Constitution,
to the rules and regulations of the Constitution,
laws of the state of New Hampshire,
laws in the state of New Hampshire,
and the rules and regulations of the city of Portsmouth.
and the rules and regulations of the city of Portsmouth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, now you don't have to repeat this. By virtue of authority vested in me through the Police Commission and RSA 105-C, trusted in your integrity and fidelity, do hereby constitute and appoint you a police officer, constable, and night watchman of said city of Portsmouth, with all the power and authority and subject to all the duties and liabilities provided by law. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have to continue back there?
Yes. You can come up here.
Hey. Won't hurt 'em.
Yep. Thank you.
Now, you guys are welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting, but you can leave now before we start. You know, I was looking at us. Nobody is.
Funny.
I kept saying Midas in my head.
Congratulations to the new officers. We're pleased to welcome them to the police department. And with that, we'll move on to public comment, which is pretty quiet. I don't see anyone here for public comment, so we'll move on to new business, and we'll begin with the facilities update, specifically the restoration. Deputy Chief, do you want to speak to a little bit about the restoration today?
Sure. Status quo as far as any abatement or major projects going in within the facility right now. We do have scheduled for December 26th air sampling and air quality testing throughout the facility from top floor to bottom floor at all spaces that contain people and equipment, and that's a follow-up to air testing that we had done a number of months ago, and this is to get a fresh look at the numbers and to see how the air quality is, particularly since we've changed seasons and kind of buttoned up the building for the winter. So.
And how often is that air quality testing being conducted? You said a few months ago.
Yeah, I think it was probably in the line of at least 6 months ago it was conducted the last time. Yeah.
Does anybody have anything else? Any other questions? Okay. Moving on to the community policing facility planning. We are hopeful that at the city council meeting on January 6th, that the mayor will establish the Blue Ribbon Committee, public committee for looking at site plans and police facility. And with that, we welcome any members of the public who have any interest in joining that Blue Ribbon Committee to apply or submit their interest. We welcome public input throughout this whole process, which is something that we continue to emphasize. Moving on to community priorities. It's nice to see that last night the city council approved more than $500,000 in grant money that the police department has worked so hard to get. And those are going to be great tools as we talk about the community priorities. One, body-worn cameras, that was over $200,000. And then for ICAC, which is the acronym for Internet Crimes Against Children, and that's over $300,000. And those grant monies just allow the police department to continue to do the great work that they're doing, help in those. And so thank you, Karen, for your efforts. It really is a group effort to get those grant.
I was going to say, and
Yeah.
Lieutenant Kinsman and Aaron Stacy and Eric Benson, same. They helped with all of it.
It takes a village. So, and also what that means about having, $500,000 in grant money, that is money that the police department has worked so hard to achieve that takes off tax burden to the community. So it's a benefit to all the residents in more than one way, not just the services provided to the community, but also reducing some of the tax burden. So thank you for that.
Definitely.
So, Chief, do you want to talk a little bit about where we are with the CAT RMS system?
So, update on that is we're still in the process of moving forward with Central Square. They've come up with some delays in being able to attach a traffic portion of the system that we need. So there have been some delayed there, but there's still some things that we're working on behind the scenes on our side and on their side, as far as the transfer of all of our old information into the new system. So we're progressing on that, and we're working with Central Square and working with other agencies that have transferring this to Central Square, so that when we do go live, we're ready to go.
So fair to say we can't go live until Central Square is able to finish that, developing the module for that traffic
Correct.
portion? Okay. And so at this point, the delays aren't really with implementation on our side, but as a software development by the,
So then there's several departments within the state of New Hampshire that are all in the same boat, who are all waiting for this piece of the computer software to be developed before they can go live, so.
as I understand it, so that it's compatible with the state system.
Correct.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else? So when we talk about sort of community priorities, to the extent that we are so eager to get the CAD RMS system up and running so that we can capture so much data from that system about, encounter data and all sorts of things. This is information, we're just sort of on hold till we get that CAD RMS system up and running, and it's sort of out of our control at this point.
Well, we've been trained on it, so with that, again, working on the data migration, which is migrating all of our data from our current system of IMC into Central Square. We're working in the system, and it's offline, but we're still able to work on it and do the things to see, how the system works differently from what we currently have. We're just not live. So it'll be a good time by the time we actually do go live, everybody should be pretty much ready to go.
Well, that's great. All right, if no one has anything else, I'll turn it over to you, Chief.
All right, I will start with the grants and donations. We received a grant in the amount of $11,076 from the New Hampshire Department of Safety through the 2024 Homeland Security Grant Program for the Seacoast Emergency Response Team to purchase some night vision equipment, and I would need a vote to approve that from the commission.
I make a motion to accept the $11,076 grant from the New Hampshire Department of Safety through the 2024 Homeland Security Grant Program for the Seacoast Emergency Response Team and forward to the City Council for their action.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The second donation we received was an unsolicited donation in the amount of $1,000 from residents Paul Gormley and Kim Yaguchi for the Portsmouth Police Department. I'd like to thank them for their generosity, and it seems like they make this donation every year to the police department, and we appreciate it.
Look for a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to accept the $1,000 check from Paul Gromley and Kimi Iguchi from for the Portsmouth Police Department and forward it to the City Council for their action.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And we thank you for that.
Yes.
Before I go to the crime analyst, I saw to mention, probably could have fallen under community priorities, that we are going to be moving forward with the Citizens Police Academy, starting in January. The academy will start January 29th, but if you go to our website now, you could see the application process. If anybody's interested in being a participant in the academy, you can go on and register, and it'll give you the details of what the program is like. It's basically going to talk about the life of a police officer and what we do in our community. Give you, you'll be able to see hands-on what the day in and day out is for police officers. Also, you'll see our current facility and get an understanding of why we're looking for a new facility with the new technologies and what we will be able to do. So if there's people out there who would be interested in learning more about what the police department does, I'd encourage you to enroll in our upcoming academy.
Sounds like a great opportunity to learn a lot about policing, so.
And then the one other thing for the community I have is Friday, we're doing a fundraiser with Gather at the Portsmouth High School at halftime of the boys' basketball game. We're doing a dodgeball tournament with a PD against the fire department. So we encourage people from the community to come out and bring a non-perishable item to donate to Gather and see us beat the fire department in a very competitive dodgeball game.
I don't think there's any question that the police department will win that.
Go, please.
And now I'll pass the crime illness report off to Deputy Maloney.
All right, thanks, Chief. These statistics run through January 1st to November 30th of this year. Overall calls for service are down 11% to 36,357. We are up for almost 4.5% in total amount of arrests at 851. We're also up, unfortunately, 20%, a little more than 20% in our DWI arrests. Number is 94 to November 30th. Since these stats were pulled, we have unfortunately surpassed the 100 mark for the year, something that the department hasn't had 100 DWIs in quite a number of years. Total police reports remains just about the same at 2,176. Reportable motor vehicle crashes also just about the same, down 1.7% at 466. Total motor vehicle stops are down 8.5% to 6,835. Involuntary emergency admission arrests are up almost 20%, 19% to 56. Mental health calls are down 17% from 198 to 163. And juvenile matter calls are also down 20% to 121 from 153 last year.
I do have a question for you, Deputy. When you say reportable motor vehicle accidents, that's not accidents that have been reported, it's just ones that are reportable?
So ones that are the state considers reportable are crashes where the damage is estimated to be in excess of $1,000. So that's any time that we take a state-required crash report. So if you're talking a minor fender bender with minimal damage, we'll simply facilitate paperwork exchange where we wouldn't take a state accident report. So the number is actually much higher when you include non-reportable, if you will, and reportable. But reportable motor vehicle accidents, albeit the more serious ones, 466. I would probably double that at least for non-reportable, which is a minor accident.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
It is striking that when just a review about each month when we're getting these reports, the percentage increase in DWI arrests, and this, from looking at these statistics that you've pointed out, it comes even when motor vehicle stops are decreasing. So it is a bit alarming when you sharing the historical data on that. I guess the good news is that what this says and what is really reflective of the PD is we are getting, the PD is getting drunk drivers off the street. And so that is as important as anything else to keep the community safe. So, I wish the statistics the increase wasn't so high, but it also means there's good detection happening, which is a positive, so.
Yeah, and we made it through Thanksgiving so far, and sometimes we forget to notice the things that don't happen. And what didn't happen at Thanksgiving or the night before Thanksgiving was thankfully any serious crashes with fatalities or injuries, and we're hoping that trend continues as we hit Christmas and New Year's as well. But we'll have additional DWI impairment patrols out for the rest of the year.
Okay. Let's see, we're moving on to.
Yeah, and I didn't know if that was another bullet, but I can talk a little specifically more about November statistics specific to traffic and motor vehicle. There were 600 motor vehicle stops conducted in the month of November, 24 summonses were issued, and 33 reportable motor vehicle crashes, 20 fewer than last month, which is a good change.
That is good. Moving on to the financial report.
I was going to say, I'll be very quick tonight.
Karen, take it.
We just continue to track at 2.5% below the cap, so there's no flags, no concerns at this point. Excuse me. I'm just continuing to work on setting up the framework for our FY26 budget so that we can get ready to start that the first week of January. The strategic plan, still working on that, still anticipate the end of December. I'm just trying to finish up implementing the first phase of our scheduling software with Captain Small, and that should end this week, so I should have a little bit more time to address that. And then we have no new grant applications in at this point.
That's because we've received them. We've gotten the grants. So, well, thank you for all your efforts. Does anybody have anything else they want to speak to? No. We have the patrol division report in our packet, as well as the court office report. Does anybody have any other business? No? Okay. With that, we wish everybody happy holidays. Our next scheduled meeting is tentatively for January 22nd, 2025. But given the change, that we're still working on the scheduling for the next year, so stay tuned, check the website, check the municipal meetings calendar if you, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. What we are seeing when we look at this DUI increase, it's a reminder to everyone, especially around the holidays, please be safe out on the roads, do not drink and drive. What we know is that the officers will be out on the road making sure that everybody remains safe. So with that, happy holidays to everyone, and I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.